Very busy.
Very busy. I know, because you know why?
Why?
Jack always keeps his pen hanging from his shirt,
Yeah.
and I always make fun of him, but now I get it. Yeah. There's just no pins.
No, there's no pens.
I even went to other radio stations.
Do you think about going to other stores?
No, because...
Me either.
Yeah. Some girl yesterday, I was on the elevator with her. Actually, it was the other morning show over there. And I said, oh, you're going to visit another place because we're on like 5 floors. She said, no, we're going to mail. And I thought, I don't know where the mail is.
I don't know where the mail is.
I have no idea. Oh, well, 4th floor. I feel like they got off on the 3rd. Maybe there's a secret mail place we don't know about.
Yeah, they're keeping secret from us.
Anyway, whoa, yeah.
Hey, your boobs look huge.
They are huge, Daddy.
How come?
Because I've got a titty job. No, I don't know. Water retention?
Yeah?
Pregnancy? I don't know.
Maybe it's just the top.
Maybe it could be the top.
You don't usually show that much cleavage.
Yeah, well, this is a new shirt.
It's pretty.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a new shirt. It's a clingy shirt. It's not only does it show my boobage, but it also shows my side fat. So that's so just ignore the side fat and just go for the boobs.
Check out the boobs.
Yeah,
absolutely. Is it a new
just-
shirt?
Well, you got a bunch of guitars on your shirt.
I think in drums too.
Oh. So you know what I really enjoy
I stole
more
it.
about this moment?
What?
I really like it when you and Jack and Stench all talk. I don't know. It's just funny to me because y'all are like, it's a boys club for a few minutes. Mm-hmm. And then I come in and then I comment on your dog.
Right. Who did nothing with me today.
Nothing?
Hurt my knee yesterday. Went swimming this morning.
Hurt my knee yesterday, went swimming this morning.
Instead of hiking.
Wow. That's crazy.
It was kind of crazy. It was a bitchin'.
Look at that. That means it's going to be a great day.
Is that what that means?
It's a secret pen. I've been looking for the secret pen all day. Or for about 15
all
minutes.
day?
Yeah. Anyway, how'd you hurt your knee? What'd you do?
I don't know. I woke up this morning and my knee really hurt.
Don't you hate that?
Yes.
Old.
Yeah, maybe.
I know. No, it is. Don't you hate it? It's like all of a sudden, I walked on the beach yesterday. Same thing. Yeah.
It'll happen to me, but then I'll go through my mind and retrace what happened the day before, and it'll always be something like, oh, yeah, I carried the groceries.
Yeah,
It'll be some lame
Right.
thing
Something
that
stupid.
shouldn't hurt you.
If I trace it down, I banged it on something would be my guess.
But do y'all do this, which is, do you notice that you get a little more compassion for the old people as you get older?
Oh,
yeah.
Because, when your grandma was bitching and moaning and complaining all those years, and you're like, oh, God, she's so faking it. Now I'm like, damn, she's pretty agile for somebody her age.
Isabella taunts me. There's this commercial for these people with these portable little tiny oxygen tanks.
Yeah, you're gonna
so they
do
can
that.
walk along. And one of these ladies has got this thing in her nose, and she's out at the mall, and she says, well, at least I've got my freedom back.
Oh.
And now Isabella, every time I go to light a cigarette or anything else, she just goes, oh, at least I've got my freedom back.
Yeah, but you're going to be that guy.
I am going to be. No, I won't live to be that guy. I almost died on the way to work this morning.
Because I thought about
I'll
you.
never live to be that guy.
Because yesterday you had a big old loogie in your throat, remember?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're like a lot of people, but a lot of people go, I know my mom and dad, that's how they do it. Did it. Well, one does and one did. Yeah, I went to the doctor. Lungs, healthy as can be. My lungs, smoking apparently doesn't even affect them.
Right.
Yeah, not at all. They're healthy.
Now, I was suspect of this, but I went because, of course, my lungs are a wreck. I have asthma. I smoke. I went to the doctor. I had to take a physical. And they said, and I'm having an asthma attack at the time because I couldn't find my inhaler.
Smoker and asthma.
And the guy goes, I don't hear anything. I'm not completely confident you have asthma.
Yeah. So
I think everybody's lungs are fine until you're dying.
Maybe that's what it is.
I think that's what it is because my lungs can't be fine.
It drove me batty. I wanted to march. Well, I didn't want to march. I wanted to drive. I wasn't old enough to drive. I wanted to call the doctor and see if, in fact, they said, the lungs are clear, fine.
So you think they said, your lungs are in really bad shape and mom and dad lied to you?
No, I think they probably said there's a little, rustling in there and you probably should stop smoking.
I was rustling that I could hear.
Yeah.
And this guy swore there was no rustling and doubted that I might really have asthma.
Yeah, it drives me over the edge. Oh, lungs are clear. Oh,
I think the
okay.
lungs are one of those things that by the time you find out there's a problem, there's nothing to do to save you.
Well, and I think my dad does the same thing you do. And he'll be hacking away. I'll be like, Dad, want another pipe? Because he smokes a pipe. He's like, doctor told me it's just allergies. Allergies, right.
I can't use that one. I'm not allergic to anything.
Let's see here. I've been hearing the same hacking since I was, 7.
Right.
Because it's you know where your parent, if they were smokers, you know where they are based on their cough.
What do you mean?
Because you can recognize their cough.
Oh, like at the store or something.
Yeah.
Oh, they're on aisle 6.
Yeah, I swear to God. I mean, I don't know if you had that, but you could actually find your parents or mine because they were heavy smokers based on where they're coughing. It's like an identifying thing. You know, some people can recognize their parents' voices. I recognize
their cologne.
Right. I recognize my parents' cough. Anyway, but you know, my mom, I think I told you, you know, she was so addicted to cigarettes that once she was really, really sick, about, I don't know, 7 years before she died, she said, on my dying days, I'm going to have a cigarette because she stopped smoking, you know, when she was having chemo and all that stuff. I'm going to have a cigarette. I'll tell you what, that is the last thing that she wanted.
See, I'm really working hard at the sobriety thing.
Right.
But in the back of my head, I think retirement still equals drunk and Brando fat. And they say that's not good.
I don't think that's good at all.
They say that's not good. My little 12-stepper guys that talk to me say that's not good.
Not, especially if that's a goal.
It is, too.
How about fit 50-year-old guy that's like hiking and biking and living life large?
No, I'm all about that.
No, because you know and I know that when you drink and you smoke, you end up sitting there.
Right, I just meant 50.
You sit there and you think about I wonder if I'll do this tomorrow.
No. Fit, hiking, cold, sober.
Safe harbors till when? 10 minutes? Okay, so hold on to your button, Denver.
Why, what's up?
Well, you know, we were talking about, oh, look, I'm going to even make it medical, so maybe not so much, okay?
There you go.
Hold on. All right, let me... So, you know our friends at the Beverly Hills Surgical Institute?
Yeah.
Well, Stench, thank you, by the way.
They do breast through the belly button.
I really appreciate that you went into that meeting. Stench, on behalf of me, went into the meeting with the BHSI because my parents, that was weird. My family was in town,
right?
And so he went into the meeting and he said it was really cool and he learned a lot.
Oh my God, I learned a lot.
What did you learn?
Okay. We were talking about all the procedures and how they do the boobs through the navel and da-da-da. And then I just
Boobs through the navel.
Yes. And it became
It's a catchy
very
little song.
fascinating.
Jax.
The procedures that are going on and how they've improved. And I even said, like, you know, from the navel, how they don't have the scars and how awesome that is. And they're like, well, the new stuff, you won't believe the new plastic surgery procedures that are going on.
Listen to this.
They now have rectal bleaching. And then they say it's really popular with
really popular.
Porn,
I read about it.
Porn,
Yeah.
entertaining
I think
people
we've even
and
talked
strippers
about it,
and
haven't we?
stuff.
A long time ago
Yeah.
before Janet showed her boob.
Right.
Yeah. and remember we've talked about before like
BJ.
if you have kids and stuff, they can do vaginal reconstruction, which is we know about.
That's
now,
before Janet.
They have a big push on rectal reconstruction. It's the new thing, and a lot of guys are doing it.
Guys?
Exactly what I
yeah.
said.
Oh.
And it's a
Exactly what I
and it was fascinating. I mean, this wasn't like a joke. I was like, "Oh my God, tell me about it."
So rectal rejuvenation.
Yeah.
And anal bleaching.
Yeah, as well as vaginal
For
rejuvenation.
the best looking bunghole you
Yeah.
ever.
You probably don't want to get that on the same day. That'd have to burn.
Well, and not only that, is there a billboard for that? Hey, does your booty look ugly?
Isn't that crazy?
That
Oh, yeah.
yes?
Yes.
I walked into that meeting going, "No way!"
You know what? Gretchen has the boobs through the navel, lives for the Botox, does the dermabrasion, you know, all that girl stuff of the 21st century.
Guys should do it too.
And guys should do it too. You're absolutely right. When I've had the Botox only for like the show, after I've had it, people have said, "Hey, you look really good. What's going on?"
Well, if you have a lot of blackheads too, the dermabrasion just sucks them out of your head.
But I don't know. I think a guy should have to live with the keister God gave him.
Well, here's my question.
No, that's for strippers and porn stars as well as guys that want a nice bleached area.
So and we even have 7 minutes, but we're so brainwashed, BJ.
I'm with you.
Anyway, so here's the thing. And I know this sounds weird, but you know, like when you have a nice set of knockers or you get a tan or you're smooth and soft and silky, a guy will usually say, "Wow, you know, your skin is soft," or "Wow, you smell good," or "Wow, great tan, nice knockers," whatever.
Right.
Do they say, "I really like the rejuvenation that you've done to your hoo-ha"?
I bet they do.
I bet they do.
And boy, is it a pretty color.
Yes.
But think about it.
I
It's
would
a
never
different
want
color.
complimented on that. That is one, I like compliments, but don't compliment me about that.
Well, you can almost count that I won't,
Yeah.
but there are nicer
careful.
ones than other ones, I would
You have
assume.
6 minutes.
She's got the sexiest rectum I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
I mean, is that something you go tell your guy friends when you're down in beers? No.
Yeah,
No, you don't.
sure you would.
I've never heard a guy ever
it was
say
all
that.
one color.
You would never say that.
You
If
would
I
be
saw one,
intrigued.
absolutely, I would get on the phone to Stench immediately.
Yeah, but can I tell you something? We have all watched the porn together, which is weird and wrong. And we've never said, now that's a nice color.
It's a new thing.
It's a new thing.
But still, even what I'm saying is.
I know what you're
I get what you're saying, but I am telling you, if let's say I'm single, I go out and I meet a girl, and she's been recently bleached to the point where I notice. I would call Stench and I go, the weirdest thing just happened, man. I'm with this girl, and she's shiny.
But let me be careful. Because everything is pink,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be. When was that?
He thought of a joke, the same one I did.
Well, because everything for the most part, when you, what is that? What do they call that? On the back of medicine labels, don't hit the membrane, the mucous membranes.
Yeah, right.
For the most part, your mucous membrane areas.
But that's up front.
But I'm just going with
Yeah.
that because it makes me more comfortable.
Well, that's fine. That would, that's fine.
Right. So because your mucous membrane areas are mostly pink, wouldn't that be weird? All of a sudden, it's like bright white.
You know what? Here, thinking about this in porn, I have noticed in a porn before an unusually dark ring. Like, wow, that's like weird. It sticks out different from the rest of the skin. You have this milky white butt, and then you'll notice like dark.
What, Jack?
4 minutes.
And I can see that person wanting to bleach it to look like the rest of their butt.
Do you hear yourself?
I noticed it before.
Put on headphones, for God's
Do
sake.
you hear yourself? Yeah, that's
I'm telling you.
and a milky white butt, and
Yeah.
then there's this dark ring.
Yes.
So I was watching this porn, and you know what really
I've
stood
noticed
out?
that before.
Yeah.
You're telling me it
I've
looked
never noticed like, oh my God, look at that one blends right in. But I've noticed one that sticks
You're
out.
describing it as if it were a target.
I
Is
know.
anybody else
Because I'm
getting that?
afraid.
That's true.
If she danced all around, is it one of those things that would hypnotize you? Ooh.
Yes, it does.
And by the way, exactly, I have white with black.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Was it like that?
I wish to shoot a crossbow at that target.
We're within the 3 minutes, and I'm afraid.
You should be afraid all day.
I just like this one comment, and yesterday, I don't know. Well, I felt really out of the loop. First of all, as you know, I've had company in for
Yes,
a week.
you have.
And it's really kind of odd. I think I finally know what it feels like to be that mom and dad who send their kids away to college.
Right?
Because, I had a house full of people, it seemed like. Even though it was only 3,
You're
it's like.
suffering from empty nest syndrome?
It was weird to have all those people buzzing and running around, and Macy and Cameron, and I don't. There's 2 issues. First of all, and it was just weird. They left, and there I was like, this is weird. Because it's been a week, you get kind of used to it, and they're all. But I am really worried about something. Because I was a stepmom I'm kind of a stepmom at 19.
Right.
With Steve, remember his
Uh-huh.
girls? And it seemed like I played with the girls as more of their age and all that. But I don't know if it's because I'm older or what, but I could not believe how many times Cameron and Macy said, Mom, Mom, Mom.
Oh, my
Mom,
God.
Mom, Mom, hey, Mom, Mom, Mom. And I don't know, I guess it's because they never called me Mom. They might have just been saying my name, Jamie, as much
Right.
as they said Mom. But at one point, I'm not kidding, Macy was standing right next to my sister there packing up. She's standing down there trying to find something. Cameron's on the 2nd floor and he can't find a bag or something.
Right.
They're both saying, Mom, Mom, at the same time on different floors.
Did you see it when they're talking right to you? The mom's talking right to you, and one of the kids is right there next to you going, Mom, Mom,
Yes.
Mom, Mom.
Yes.
I think that's how I ended up calling Gretchen going, hey, Mom, where are my keys?
Yeah.
When you don't mean to. You
Oh, my
just
God.
hear it constantly.
I didn't even think about that. And then you dads do it to him too? Because I was really impressed because my sister's a great mom. I mean, she really is. And
Your sister seems like an all-around great person.
oh, she really is. She's awesome. But it was really interesting because I never saw her like get fired up or anything. I mean, I was in the middle going, "Are you kidding me? Can she just tell them like, hey, you guys, look first before you yell out, mom. Just look with your hands or whatever." But I forgot probably her husband too is yelling, mom.
Mom, where are the keys?
She's like totally calm and she's like, what do you need? Where you live? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, "Tut." But it was funny because when we left GameWorks,
Yeah.
when we left GameWorks, we all went out to eat. A bunch of us went out to eat. And there was like, I don't know, 10 of us that went out to eat. And we're all sitting there and Macy's on the left of my sister. And one of my girlfriends is telling my sister this whole big story about something that she and I did. And my sister's listening, and then Macy's like, Mom, blah, 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 blah. My sister, I don't know how she does it. She's talking to Macy, supposedly still listening to my girlfriend. My girlfriend realized she's talking now to nobody.
Right.
So I pick up the slack and start talking to her. But I realize this is a story about us, and I already know this story.
Sure.
But I'm like, that's a good one. And then I thought, why am I faking like I don't know the story when this story is also about me? But then I said, Mary, she's talking to you. And she's like, yes, I know. And then what happened?
Wow, without missing a beat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I don't do. I have a lot of slacking off parent things, but Isabella drives me over the edge with interrupting when you're talking. Dad. What? And it's usually...
Just so you know, totally normal.
I know, yeah.
Oh,
she does other stuff
I
that's
watched
not normal. But it's mostly a good thing because I don't know where her clothes are, her Sunday whatever, or this and that. That's a mom thing. Dad is swing set, dive in the pool, something she really wants to show me as an elective.
Right.
So when I shut her down, it's like kind of heartbreaking.
Oh, because it's what she's proud.
Right. But I cannot bear a child feeling that they can just go, Dad, in the middle of a conversation. I don't even look at them. I just go, I am talking to an adult. Wait.
Wow.
And wrap it up.
I kind of wish she would do that. She doesn't.
It's my only good habit, man.
Somehow
Thank
she
you.
but you know what? In her defense, I think because the kids were overwhelmed, they didn't know anybody at the table. There's like 8 adults.
Right.
So she was giving them the attention that they, needed and wanted.
Plus, they can spaz, and that's embarrassing. They're at a table with 10 strangers and something goes wrong. You really want to have your kids, because your kids really represent you better than you do. I can be on my best behavior, but if my daughter has some sort of full-blown meltdown and you go, well, that's the kind of behavior he allows. That's what the inside of his home looks like. You really want your kids to represent you as well as possible.
Well, I am kind of just so happy. They're past meltdown stage because they're 11 and 13.
Right.
Or 10. I get that Macy all mixed up. 10, 11, and 13. So they're past meltdown where she's just like done.
Right.
But I remember that, 8, 9, something like that, where... And I told you the worst experience of my girlfriend's life. She's meeting the new parents of her boyfriend, okay, because she got a divorce or whatever. And I think I told you this. And her daughter flips out on her. I can't believe you're dating someone. This is not my family. Dad's going to be so mad at you. Flips out, throws water on her mom.
Oh, there's another one I don't think I'd do.
Can you imagine what you would do? You meet the new parents for the first time, and your daughter, who's 7 or 8 years old, throws water on you and flips out and says, Dad's going to be mad at you.
I'd hide that kid.
What would you do? Wouldn't you be humiliated?
Yes.
She said she yanked her out of there, took her outside, and beat the bejesus out of her.
Not necessarily the answer I'd pick, but that's certainly the answer I'd want.
I think at that point you do. I mean, on their butt, it's like... Plus, she was humiliated and angry, and I know you're not supposed to hit in anger, but right then, I think she deserved it.
You know what? Dante has made me so mad recently by being so bad, not just by being, I'm not a spanker. I never touched Isabella once. I think I spanked Dante once before yesterday. Yesterday, I spanked him, and he laughed at me and said it didn't hurt.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I spanked him again, and he laughed at me, and I realized if I spank this kid enough to stop this laughter, I'm going to leave a mark.
Right.
You can't go around marking up kid these days. It's just people are against it.
I know, but I mean, first of all, I have to tell you one thing, and that is that my girlfriends, you know how your girlfriends will still, even though it's your sister or whatever, they'll talk behind her back
Yes.
because they're your girlfriends. Well, and they have no reason to lie or whatever, but both of my really close girlfriends said, I cannot believe how well behaved your sister's kids are. I've never seen anything like it. Not only with adults, but with each other.
I got to put that up on the list of phrases I've never heard.
I know. I will never hear it either. I mean, and I said, well, that it is true for kids so close together, they don't fight. I mean, they squabble, or whatever, but it's just really amazing. She did such a great job. I don't know what the hell happened. But Jack, well, here's the deal.
All right.
I have a question, and then I also have a statement. Actually, I have them in the reverse order.
You have a statement, then you have a question.
Yes.
All right.
Jack's life is over, but really, what was he supposed to do?
Right.
So, okay, the statement is Jack's life's over.
Yes.
The question is, what was he supposed to do with it anyway?
No, with this particular incident that now is causing his life to be over, Jack.
Right.
Okay.
We set a very bad precedent over the weekend, which will affect me, I think, from this point on, yet I
Yes.
really had no choice.
Learned behavior, the parents' fault.
Right. We go to the mall.
Right.
We go to get smoothies. We're walking around the mall. We go in the toy store to look around. We do this all the time. They have these new spongy things. Sometimes they look like M&Ms. They have little beads in them, and you squeeze them, and they're stretchy, and they're
Yeah.
you know those things.
Yeah.
And they feel real good. So we're playing with them. We're like, the baby will like to touch this, so we let the baby touch it. Well, she locks in with a death grip, and now will not let go of this. And when you try to take it to put it back on the shelf, starts crying and screaming.
Right.
Screaming.
I know where this is going already.
Right. So we do the math in our heads, and it's
Well,
if
tell
we-
me how even when you're checking. Oh,
Well,
sorry.
that's what I mean. We get to this point now.
Believe me,
where-
all parents have this already. They know right where Jack's going.
Right. There are three options: put it back on the shelf and have her scream, steal it, or buy it.
She even did the arch back thing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So we went with option 3. We go up to the checkout counter, but to pry it out of her little baby hands and get it to the guy was hard.
Right.
Then she screamed all through the checkout process.
While you're saying, you're getting this.
Right.
We're getting this for you. You're getting this.
Exactly.
Right.
Just let me pay. So the guy is nice enough to cut off the tags and shove it back in the baby.
Right.
And then quiets her down.
Right. And then she's quiet down, and we buy it in. So I'm leaving the store. I look at my wife and I go, do you realize what we just did?
Yeah.
We've now created this situation to
Right.
happen a million times again.
They say my dog only takes 3 times till it's trained for life.
Right.
Really?
And that's a dog, yeah.
Yeah, because now this baby knows that if it screams and arches
flips.
its back, that it gets whatever's in its hand.
I think I can help Jack while simultaneously helping myself, while simultaneously admitting what a terrible parent I am.
Right, because my question then to you was, what was he supposed to do?
Option 3,
What was that? Steal
buy it.
Oh.
And this is why I can help you, because I guess for about maybe the last 8 years, I've made a comfortable living. And I've taken option 3, sometimes when it's not even an option.
Yes,
Just-
I remember Pokemon
How
and all
about-
that Universal City Walk.
We're just sitting around doing nothing. I have no particular parent skills. How about I buy you something right now for no reason? I must have bought $200 worth of Nancy Drew video games that are made for a Macintosh. They don't even work in my house. Here, let's buy. Option 3.
I know my one girlfriend, but your baby's not old enough to understand economics. But I know my one girlfriend has guilted her child so much about how they're struggling for money that kid won't say. She'll actually say, "Mommy, that's okay. I don't need it."
That's how we were when we were kids, because
Yeah.
we knew our mom didn't have any money. That we
Right.
were always like, no, we don't
No,
want it.
and then if you got something, you felt really guilty.
Right.
So train it like that.
Well,
I will. What you
Not
told
too
her.
late. You blew it. My daughter wanted something, like these are smaller things. My daughter wanted something not too long ago that we really actually truly could not afford under any circumstances.
Wow.
And I told her that, and she wouldn't believe me. I mean, it was
Well, you created the monster.
absolutely, which Jack is on his way to doing, but I am about to save both of us. When we come back, I have completely got your problem solved. It's going to help me. It's just going to make me look like a dumbass.
What was Jackson? All right. Well, first let me tell him what we're talking about. Okay. Here's the thing. It's kind of called Jack's Life is Over, but what was he supposed to do?
Right.
He went to a toy store. He let the baby play with some little like soft squishy thing that was fascinating. The baby loved it. They then try to pry it from the baby's cute little baby hands. And then the baby flips out. The baby's flipping out so much that it's uncomfortable for everyone. Everybody's looking at him. The baby's arching its back, trying to get out of the stroller, like that whole creepy, like where they all of a sudden go into this spasm thing.
Right.
And their little face is bright red and they can't breathe because they want it so bad. And then even while he's like, oh my God. So they had to get it because they thought about it for a second. And then they bought it and the baby is screaming while they're even trying to pay for it. So then they shove it in the baby's hands. Even the checker shoved it in the baby's hands.
Right.
That's how uncomfortable this was. And then as they were walking out, Jack looked at his beautiful wife and said, our life is over. We just taught that baby that it can scream and get what it wants.
Okay, now, I can save you. But this is much like taking mommy and me at my house. You have to take me up on this offer. Because what has happened is he had to either steal it, make the baby scream, or buy it, which is option 3. And all of you that are calling up and telling him that's irresponsible, blah, blah, blah.
I just want to give you a hint of what Jack, all right, so imagine that just over and, but like, yeah.
Almost like they're being killed.
Yeah. Like,
Screaming like they're being killed.
yeah. Okay.
All right, now
so
here's
you
the
get
thing,
concept
Jack.
of how annoying
Because everybody that's calling him said you should have let her cry. And well, of course they're right. There's no arguing that point. You know you set the precedent. Well, here's the answer.
Yeah,
for
he
you.
knows what he should have done.
Here's the very weird and convoluted answer that I have for you. I've taken option 3 for 9 years through 2 children while making a decent amount of money for a living. Go to Target Bonaducci's. Come over with a little shopping basket, right? Tell her you're taking her to the store. Come to my house. You know that big tub of change I have with all the dollars and everything that I've saved? Walk through my house with your basket, grab anything you want that makes Lucy happy. Try and talk her out of it, make her a little mad, then give in. Then come to Checker Bonaducci, give me your money, and I'll actually give you exact change back. So you won't have spent a penny, but you'll have been to a fairly substantial, very well-stocked store.
I like what you've done.
Do you like what
there.
I've done?
I like what you've done there.
I'll wear some sort of orange shirt and a name tag.
No, you need the red one with the big target
Whatever
on
it is that gets the crap that I took option 3 to out of my house and puts it in his house. Matter of fact, I might double your change. You might make
to
money
take it
taking
away.
option 3.
All right, so that's an option. Don't go to the toy store. Go to
my house.
Bonaducci.
We'll all dress up.
Toys are mine.
Yeah.
And Stench, because you guys, how far apart are your babies?
3 months.
3 or 4 months.
So
yeah.
yours is 3 months older?
Yeah.
Oh, so you get to act like the expert.
No,
Well, he's
this
also
is my
not
second kid.
Well, I know, but see, everybody gets to play a card, like, you know, the expert card.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Linda, the sales chick, 3 kids, she's like the expert.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so anyway.
And here's my thing, what I do with it. Believe me, I've fallen victim to the thing, and I have bought stuff before, and so they won't scream too. Another little bonus tip is to, like if it's a Beanie Baby, you just rip the price tag off the Beanie Baby so the kid never lets go of it and hand it to the checker and say, ring that up, because
Yeah.
I've done that before.
That was the thought. See, you screwed up right
Yeah.
there. You took it away and then gave it back.
But my main thing, because this happens a lot, occasionally when I do give in and
that's still option 3.
Yeah, that's option
Yeah,
3.
but that's a good one because the baby doesn't know yet that you're reacting because she's playing with it and loving it. So you
Right.
just rip the tag off and give it to the checkout person. She doesn't know she's won.
I've done that.
Well, we still leave with it.
We
Yeah,
still
you
live
still
She
with
live
it.
doesn't have that concept. She was handed something and nobody tried to take it away from her.
There's no fight at that point.
Right,
there.
but then what have you done the next time you go to the store?
But there's still no battle. The child
Right.
hasn't learned that if I cry, the kid has not cried at this point.
All you're doing is saving the kid the hassle of putting the energy of crying in it.
That's not true. You haven't taught it yet.
Yeah.
That it needs to react for you to react.
Right. You've taught it when it goes into the shiny store, it just things are free.
Well, it doesn't know where it came from. I mean, the baby's how old?
Oh, but that's your fault.
Right.
Yeah.
You should be punished if you're not smart enough to keep that basket within 3 feet of each side of the aisle. Your basket should always be in the dead
Oh my God!
center.
But that's like
Nice.
when they took the little fat girl into the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Yeah.
I want it now, Daddy.
And they start going, grabbing at stuff, and you laugh because they can't reach it.
Oh, that's torture.
And then the other thing I do when
That's
this
a
happens,
different option.
Well, it's like taking you into a liquor store.
Yeah.
I don't mind that as much as the pharmacy, really.
and then the rest of the time I bait and switch. because we always have a diaper bag with at least 5 or 6 toys, and I'll pull one out and be like, oh, look, little Elmo wants to play with you. And she goes to reach for Elmo,
Sometimes
snatch the other
they
toy, and
don't
I
buy
switch
it.
her.
Yeah, but the switcheroo is a good
That's what
try.
You
The
try
It's a
other
good
stuff.
try.
No, I love the switcheroo idea.
I'll try that.
It's a valiant effort.
Yeah, I really like that one. But I would say that sometimes, like all of us, you hold on to that man. I'm sorry, that toy. You try to replace him with a different man, just not the same.
Well, they have 2 hands, though. That's the thing, too. If it's a small enough toy, they'll usually keep the little Beanie Baby in his hand, and then they have Elmo,
then
too.
you got
Like,
drama.
"Hey."
And then what really irritates you, I believe, is that you've succumbed to a temper tantrum,
Right.
basically. And then you get home, and that kid hates that toy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you just want to beat it over the head with it then.
No, by the time we left the mall, she'd already dropped it off the side of the stroller twice.
Done.
Like, I'd already been done with it.
Yeah. All right, so I believe, Jack's ruined his life. What was he supposed to do? We
You
have,
did
of
the
course.
right, wrong thing.
Yeah, because I like the tear the tag off kind of thing. But not every time, obviously. But
No, you just can never go in a store again.
right. But
Middle
that's
of
a
the
good
aisle.
thing because she's a little girl, right?
Right.
This is smart, Jack.
Right.
Never take her into a shoe store. The addiction begins early.
By the way, just so you know how honest I am being with you about this, we played hide and seek yesterday, and there's this little, like, kind of hidden closet in my bedroom. You push on it, and it opens, and it's a little playroom. And that's the first place everybody looks when you play hide and seek. I hid under the discarded toys, and no one found me.
Wow. They might
So
be
come on over
overstimulated.
shopping.
All right, Jack, first call of the day. Here we go.
The first call of the day with Jamie and Danny.
Bang.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine. And I'm burning for you. Everybody's working for the weekend.
Wow. All right, here we go. By the way, I had one, Jack, where you just go, where's the little buddy? You play hide and seek, and then she can't find it. And then you go looking around the store, we can't find it. And then you put another one of her own toys on a shelf and go, but look, there's Elmo.
When they get
A lot of effort.
It's a different thing because it doesn't involve purchase. But once they're old enough to not hurt themselves at every turn, you can play hide and seek with them and then not look, and it's cool.
Or not come back like your dad did.
Well, that took an ugly turn right there.
All right, Krista, you're the first call of the
Yay!
day. Yay! Thank you for calling. Go ahead. Jack's life's falling apart. But what was he supposed to do?
What was he supposed to do?
Well, I went to a parenting class, and they said...
You went to a parenting class?
Whoa, let's stop right there.
You went to a parenting class.
Yes.
Hey, Jack, you ever met anybody or yourself been to driving school? Like driving
No.
school? I have. You know why?
Why?
Got a
Because
speeding
the
ticket.
cops made me go.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never met a person that took a parenting class that didn't, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, beat their children.
First, and then felt so
Right.
guilty, took
or
a
got
parenting.
arrested for it,
Yeah,
was
right.
sentenced to parenting classes.
Or there are people that just felt so guilty, they're like, oh, I can't control this
What'd
kid.
you
I
do to
feel
your
awful.
kid?
Yeah.
I actually just wanted a little bit more information because I am a first parent, and my child's 3. And
I wanted
he
more
was at
information,
that
like
age.
on how to cover bruises.
Anyway, go ahead. What?
No, but they just told me, you're really not supposed to give in to stuff like that because it does teach them that. But Stitch has an awesome idea. The switcheroo really does work. Also, you hide like those little dum-dum suckers like in the diaper bag. Seriously, kids would drop anything.
She's not
for
old enough to have a
sucker.
dum-dum sucker.
9 months old.
Yeah, she's 9 months
5
old.
months. All right. Well,
9.
the
How old?
What doesn't matter?
9.
But can't have a son.
Yeah, she can't have a sucker because of like the whole thing. Goes
Lodge in
down.
her esophagus.
Yeah.
switcheroo is the
It'll pop
best
off
thing.
the little thing and
Definitely.
it'll be all over. But hey, she's not crying.
Sometimes that's an option.
I mean, I like the dum-dum suckers. I agree. That's a cute little thing. They play with that. Give them candy, fatten them up before
Yeah, I'm for
before
that,
they
too.
cry. But Krista, so you go to this parenting class, right?
After beating your kids.
Right, because you can't control your 3-year-old. And by the way, isn't it embarrassing that he or she's 3, and how old are you?
I'm 25.
Yeah, 25, and you're like, oh my God, I'm the adult here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what else did you learn?
I learned a lot of stuff actually. Just like how to control your temper when they do act like that, because or you're like, you just kind of want to smack them sometimes, but you're like, no, you just smile and you try to talk to them, you try to work your way through it by, explaining to them that this is not okay behavior.
So you had some anger problems with your 3-year-old, did you?
Baby rage.
Baby rage, I like it. So you just flipped out on the kid?
No,
Liar.
not usually.
Liar. Liar. So what are you supposed to do to control your anger? What did the therapist tell you?
Or what did the therapist tell you not to do?
They basically just said, that you need to really try to communicate with the kid, or try to direct their attention in other directions. Like Stench was saying, with the other
Yeah,
Elmo.
all right. It's always easy for the guy to stand up in front of the class and say that. But when you flipped out on your kid, did they tell you to count to 10 or realize this is illegal?
The one time that my child actually flipped out in the middle of the mall, I actually just walked through the mall with him screaming like I just beat him, and just smiled as everyone was staring at me. Like, I really kind of do want to smack him, but I'm not going to, because, this is not how you're supposed to do it,
Oh, and those kids that lay down, they won't get up. And what are you supposed to do with them?
You know what? I wrote this down. I just never thought of what to do because I wasn't there, but I wrote this down for a thing to talk about. Dante apparently at the mall the other day started screaming, "Help me," while he was with Gretchen. And Gretchen had to keep insisting, yes, that's my child. And nobody knew what to do. The child's asking for help, screaming, help me, no.
Well, there's the help me thing, or that's I'm going to show you, I'll walk away. And then you realize, I can't walk away from the kid. Because, you said we're leaving, and then they don't leave, and you say, I'm leaving without you.
98.7.
By the way, since we're talking about kids, how do you pronounce this? Britax? Britax?
Okay.
Britax? Anyway, they recalled 400,000 child seats. It's Britax Child Safety Inc. is recalling 400,000 child seats because the harness can loosen and endanger the child. It's recalling all Marathon, Husky, Wizard, and Snug Seat Traveler Plus seats.
Well, I think that's lovely that people are looking out for the safety of a child. But what is the first thing it says it can do?
A harness can loosen and endanger the child.
Every car seat harness can lose when you get a squiggly kid in there. You would have to bound that kid up with duct tape to find one that will actually restrain a child if he or she does not want to be in it real bad.
Well, I know, but obviously this is a big deal.
Right.
I mean,
But
to make a recall, it's really loosening.
Are either of your kids big enough to...
Trust me, they don't want to replace 400,000.
Right. Oh, no. I'm telling you something about another thing about kids, and we have to do the tantrum thing, that Dante can literally get out of anything. Dante can just worm his way or muscle his way out of anything. We just checked yesterday. The current law is 6 years old or 60 pounds is the current law for needing a child seat. Dante is neither of those things and can get out. He's Houdini, the little bastard.
They found me in the middle of the highway. Ernie, our neighbor, picked me up in the middle of the highway.
Wow.
I think my parents put me there on purpose. I got out one of those little playpens. You remember when playpens were popular? And I guess the little webbing, I could get my toes in. Oh, wow. I mean, I don't remember it.
Right.
Kind of like, what's that kid, Tommy, who has the screwdriver?
Rugrats?
Rugrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like little Tommy. Where you'd be like Chucky and all afraid to go. You and I could be the twins, Phil and Lil.
Look at how everybody's lives have changed. My
We're all
God.
Rugrats.
Oh, yeah. All right, anyway, it's the whole thing about... and
By the way, thanks for ruining throwing Dante in the air.
What are you talking about?
He scoffs at me when I throw him in the air now that he's been thrown in the air by a giant.
There's an elevation separation.
I want the big guy, not the little
totally.
man.
I throw him as high as I can, and he gets to about the starting point from which Stench would throw him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bastard.
It's like, Dad, just put me down.
I know. It's like,
Loser.
why bother?
Anyway, we're talking
So now
about
I'm heaving him off stuff.
Jack, which is... what? Your life is ruined, but what was he supposed to do? He gave the little
You did
baby
the right thing.
a toy because she was screaming about it. So I love this one. Here is Renee. Hi, Renee.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I have an interesting story.
Okay.
But I have 3 kids, and my oldest was always pretty mellow. he didn't really throw. I always let him have toys. Wherever we went, Target, whatever, that's the first thing I do. I grab something to entertain him through my whole shopping trip so I didn't have to entertain him, I guess.
Right.
Like shop. And he was really good at it. I was telling him, okay, you know, and when we're done, you got to give it back. And he gave it back. Well, when he was about probably 1.5, well, two, because I had moved by then.
Okay, it doesn't
We
matter.
were in a smaller store, and he started throwing a fit. And I walked away. That didn't work. Ended up having to drag him out of the store. And I'm like, I am never doing that again.
Right.
So the very next time, I mean, it was a good half-hour ordeal trying to get him out of that store, throwing a fit. The very next time he threw a fit in a store, I lay down on the floor and started
Threw a
smacking
fit
my
with
hands on
him?
the ground and screaming and crying. And he was completely mortified.
How old's this kid?
He was
Maybe
2.5,
2.
3 at the time. So he's a little bit older. He didn't like it. He's never, ever done it again.
Oh my God, that's funny. She laid down on the floor at Target with the kid and screamed.
Worth trying, Jack.
Yeah.
You'll do it anyway.
Oh my
People
God.
have a better reaction to that. They'll laugh, you know, rather than when you're yelling at your kid or you're letting them scream, they act like it's never happened to them, you know, and they hate you.
Oh my God, that is
They do,
brilliant.
hey, and nobody judges like other parents.
Oh, Jack, you got to try that one. I went and caught on tape, by the way. All right, so we need to take a little break, but when we come back, we're really concerned about line number 7.
7.
Okay, so we have to get to Dan because Dan offers Jack some parental...
Real hope here. This sounds very interesting to us.
Some parenting advice as to what to do when your child is screaming for a toy. Do you give in? Jack gave in, but now...
I say give in.
Now,
My time's worth something.
learn behavior. Yeah, but the problem is now this will happen all the
Right,
time.
but my time is more valuable than that toy, damn your eyes.
But not always can you afford the damn toy.
No, if that happened, she would not believe we didn't have the money.
Dan.
Yes, good morning.
Hi, Dan. Go ahead and tell Mr. Jack how you became an amazing parent, if you will.
Well, actually, it was a friend of mine, and I watched it all. Oh, by the way, nice show. Good morning, you two.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Morning to you.
Thank you.
Now back to beating the kids.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he had, I don't know, about 4-year-old, 3-year-old, and all the kid would do is lay down and just start having a tantrum. Well, he looked at him, got the little mean eyes, pointed out his index finger, looking down at him, and while the kid's just bawling and tears are coming down his face, just stick it right down at the end of his tongue, at the back part.
Wow.
So the kid would gag?
About the third time, all he did was shut up, and the tears kept coming.
That's kind of awful, but yet effective.
I
Yeah,
dig
well,
it.
you don't have to hurt him.
But don't they just chomp down on your finger?
No, not with their mouth going. You just put it in and pull it out real quick.
And then they just gag real quick? And then they
Just a touch.
stop?
Why are you looking at me? I've never tried this method.
I know, but I know that you're willing to.
You probably would. About the third time, though, I guarantee he won't cry no more.
I
All
mean,
you
is
gotta
it
do
illegal?
Is look at him. All
Can you
gotta
make
do is
it?
look at him.
Well, obviously
No,
we can
you're
make
not-
our kids
you're not hitting
gag,
him.
Jack.
Well, but the thing is that now, so when the dad points at the child, he's just terrified.
Yep, he just quiet.
So what happens if, say, something interesting happens right behind the kid and the dad goes, look,
Yeah.
and sticks that finger out? Does the kid just freak?
No, they don't freak out. They just keep their mouth closed real quiet.
Well, and the other thing I'm a little worried about, and this is just me because it's happened, but I have had pepperoncinis before and then rub my eyes.
Right.
What if you have some like toxic chemical on your fingers and you stick it down your
Well,
kid's throat?
You want to make sure your hands are clean and
So
you don't
wait,
have
you
any
gotta
long
go
fingers.
wash before.
Yeah, you stay here and scream while I go scrub up.
No. You have to know when to and when not to.
Wow, that's really.
I think I know when not to.
I don't know. Or you know what I think I would do is just pull their hair. I'm kidding. I mean,
They
it's
hate that.
You know, it's the same kind of thing. Like, well, I remember though, like our neighbor would squeeze the kid's ear, like pull on his ear.
Oh, every member of the Bonaducci family has been carried home, just dragged on the end of their toes by their ear.
Yeah,
You'd
so-
think they'd come off.
So maybe there is some form of, I don't know. But to hurt the kid, it seems like they scream more. But
You
the
know, I gotta
gagging
tell you,
thing
though-
doesn't really hurt the kid.
I whined and complained
Scary.
about my dad and the way I grew up and stuff, but the one thing I will tell you is that when my dad said, do this right now, you just did it.
Oh, my
when
God,
my
we did
daughter,
too.
When my daughter who knows I will not touch her and my son who knows I won't do it, I tell them to do something, they kind of cavalierly decide on what their next behavior might be.
It's funny that you say that because my sister and I were discussing that. Why was it that we did whatever our dad said? I mean, even as
Because they
teenagers.
beat ya.
You know what? Yeah, I think because there were a couple times where we got really smacked in the batushka, and you're like, don't want that to happen.
No, you know what? I wish after having met Dante and Isabella, I'd had time to go over to my dad's nursing home and go, you know what? Sorry, dude. Pretty good job you did there.
Yeah, because I can remember being spanked up every single step and thinking, please stop steps. Hey, but you know what? Then you never did it again.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
I don't know. It's weird. And I will have to say, my sister used to spank her kids, and they're so good.
Spoil the kid, spare the rod, or some sort of thing. I'm going to go home and get a stick and start beating people.
But not
Starting
beating.
with Gretchen and working my way down.
Because you know what? I think about it. It didn't hurt. It was just terrifying. You know, it wasn't that our butts hurt or anything like that. It was just so scary that this big man was like, you guys. And it was that voice, too.
There was serious fear. That was probably one of the big motivators. We got whipped on the hands. We'd have to put our hands out and he'd lash them with a belt.
Ow.
And anytime you flinched, you'd get more. So you'd have to
Okay,
just
that's
stare.
crazy.
You just had to stare at the guy and take him. But I'm telling you, you hardly ever made the same mistake twice in the Bonaducci house.
Well, we weren't treated like that, but we didn't either. And I think it was just the raised voice, the huge man that was like 6'3".
Yeah.
And you're like, and he could basically pick you up by your collar and he'd just hold you there and say, I'm holding you here until you stop. You're like,
I'm going to do all this stuff.
I mean, it was terror, but he also loved us. You know, he told us he loved us and everything, and I know he does. My dad's awesome, but you're like, okay, gotta stop that. But then you didn't realize at 16 you could kick his ass. Something still happened.
This happened to me with my grandfather. Because when I was a little kid, I was scared of him. He's loud, he was big, you know, and when he said something, I was afraid. And now he's this frail old man who wants to talk about what he had for lunch, and it makes me sad. Because you kind of want him to be that big, strong guy you were afraid of.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. That is scary. The first time that you see them, I'm like, oh my God.
We had a kind of a case like that in the studio the other day. A guy of legendary status who all of a sudden you just look around and you go, hey, who's the geese?
Yeah, we actually had to start the show all over at 6 o'clock in the morning and pretend like 5:30 didn't happen. Yeah. Anyway, that was kind of sad. All right, now I think people are being retarded. Bob,
Yes.
I don't think this is right, but tell Jack.
Jack,
Yeah.
are you there?
Yes!
The best thing to do is reach over there when they're crying and just real carefully just kind of push down on their soft spot on top of their head.
What does that do?
It doesn't. It's not an on-off button.
Turns you
It
into
puts
Bob.
them
I
to
think.
sleep.
What?
It puts them to
Oh,
sleep.
my God.
Yeah, because it's like a
It's called
concussion.
knocking them out when your brain touches the skull.
It scares me that some people are allowed to have kids.
Right. I mean, I never
Laws.
thought I'd end up quoting Keanu Reeves, but any bastard can get a driver's license. Don't even need a permit to have a kid.
Karen, hi.
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 Go ahead, real fast.
Okay, so I was in Macy's with my nephew. He's 3 years old. He just decides to throw himself on the floor for no apparent reason. So I use sarcasm because that kind of usually works, and he laughs. So I tell him, you better knock it off or I'm going to stuff you back in the closet. To that which he replies, no, please don't stuff me back in the closet. So now I've got a kid screaming and yelling on the floor, begging not to be stuffed back in the closet.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, that's not good.
yeah.
You're like, oh my God, just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know what Gretchen. I don't know the whole end of the story where Dante started. Can you say the word?
I don't know what it means.
Does it not mean anything? Can I say it?
Is it a kid that the
It was
word
in a
is-
movie.
It was a movie.
Oh, it was? Okay. We're watching Scary Movie 3. Scary Movie 2 was too dirty for kids. Scary Movie 1 was very funny. Scary Movie 3 is funny.
Now that we've got the rundown of what the scary movies
Well, I
entail.
just want you to know if you run out and think these are okay for kids, number 2 is not. But number 3 does have the running gag in it that I was looking for a video, and he didn't get the right video. He got Pootie Tang, and it's a running gag through the movie. And Dante was in the mall. This is the same day that he was yelling, "Help me!" going, "Pootie Tang, Pootie Tang, Pootie Tang, Pootie Tang." And Gretchen said, "Please stop yelling that in the mall." And Dante, at the top of his lungs, yelled, "But I love Pootie Tang." That was the same day he yelled, "Help me."
Okay, can I just say this?
Yes.
This is the dad's fault. Anything that kid yells like, you bastard, you effing bastard, to Stench.
He did not say effing.
What did he say?
He said bastard. Silly bastard.
And what else did he say?
Well, here's the bad one.
Uh-huh.
Because we're thinking of a game to play called Psychic Baby. Because also in Scary Movie 3, there's a kid that's psychic and there's people sitting on the couch. And the kid runs down the line telling them what's going to happen to them. And Dante's memorized that scene. Like, he'll go up to people who are smoking and he'll say, smoke all you want. You're going to get hit by a bus. He'll just say that right to him. But the bad one is pregnant ladies.
The what?
Pregnant ladies, because that's in the scene on the couch. He'll go right up to pregnant ladies and say, you're going to have a boy. He's going to be an a-hole.
And he wonders why he yells out pootie. You know, the other thing about children and how precious they are is that sometimes they just surprise you with how lovely they are. There's a kid and he was in a coma for 41 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
And his parents, oh my God, they just cried. They were so sad. He got hit by a car. They were praying over him, the whole thing. He woke up. They saw him like budge a little bit. And he woke up and he said, F you.
Wow, is Dante going to be all right?
And guess what?
What?
They were really happy.
I've been happy. All right.
It says it was such a relief. It was his way of telling me he was going to be all right. He hasn't stopped talking since. Aw, isn't that precious?
All right. I'm going to tell you a story, but please don't mock me because I know it's wrong, okay?
Well, you already have some complaints about your scary movie, but go ahead.
Okay, this one's worse.
It can't.
Isabella and I have this tendency. She learned this gesture where you put your arm up and you know, kind of, I think it's an old Italian like kind of way of flipping someone off.
Yeah.
So it's offensive to some people. So
Well, yeah, there's no need to learn it.
I told her not to do it. I don't know where she got it. That's not one
do.
I taught her. No, I don't make that gesture. Has anybody ever seen me do that one? That's not one of mine.
Okay, well, that one Danny didn't. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Learned this
no.
one from Dad.
That one I didn't. That one she didn't learn from me.
Crap pipe gesture.
So I told her, just move it to your fist up like this, and I'll know what you mean.
Why? Why does she even
'Cause
need
it's a
to
game
change
we're
it?
playing.
What's the game called?
It's not really called anything, but I guess it would be F off.
You see, you play F off game with your kid, and hey, no, now you know it's offensive to some people. So just shake your fist at me, and that means F off. Now think about. Wait, what was that line that Stench said? Oh, do you hear yourself?
Yes. Nobody's actually making an offensive gesture when we do this. We just know that we're bugging the other guy. We're just putting our fist up, and only we know.
I'm only
that it
going
used-
by what you've told me.
Right. There's no offensive gesture going.
The only
but
knowledge I have is what you said right before this part where you're trying to cover your ass.
no, I'm just trying to tell you. So anyway, we know that we're giving each other this gesture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday she's going to the mall with Gretchen to buy back to school clothes, and
Don't judge me. This one's going to be really bad.
so she gives me the gesture as she drives away, and the game is the last one to see the other person do it. So she did it to me and won't face me, and Mom drives off. So I decide a couple minutes later, you know, I can't just let that little girl win. So I jump on my motorcycle.
You were gonna say that.
And I caught him about 5 miles from the house. At 60 miles an hour, I just bang on her window. She leaps like it's the end of the world, turns and looks at me, and I go, with the fist and just hauled ass right.
Now, I really like this story, and it is an adorable story.
It's an adorable story.
But why was the setup, don't judge me, this one's going to be worse than the last one?
I don't know. Did I say worse than the last one? I just said it's
Yeah.
going to be bad.
Yeah.
Oh, just because kids shouldn't make even pretend obscene gestures to their parents.
I thought it
and let
wasn't
alone-
one.
And let alone be chased down so dad can
No,
do
now
one
that
back.
I get, because my dad does that, but we do something called the weep game.
What's that?
Weep. It's just this thing that's been passed down, and my dad will literally do the same thing. He will hide or beat because it's whoever last to weep.
I got her at 60.
Yeah.
That's like the best one. That's the best one ever.
Yeah, so I understand but it's really hard to inhale that air and do the weep game. It's like a whole weep.
My buddy David and Ray and Scott and I always had a thing called the fair snag. If you lit a cigarette and they were fast enough to snag it from you, it was theirs. and you couldn't ask for it back.
Some of your games are demented.
My whole life's been demented. Why is this just in?
Well, I know. It's just like you get all like wiggly and weird when you set up something saying, hey, you know what? This one's really bad. Don't judge me. And then you're like, no. It's just
Well,
it was
it's not.
a
I didn't want you
gesture.
to think she was doing this when she's not. She's making a
And
fist.
I asked you, what does that mean? And you go, well, I guess it means
It totally
F you.
means F you.
Well, then why'd you get all wiggly and weird?
I didn't.
Oh, Jesus. We've worked together a long time. Yes, you did.
Okay, Jamie, I got wiggly and weird.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Either stick with it's going to be offensive and this is weird because it's the FU gesture,
Yeah.
or it's not.
It's not, but we both know what it means.
Wait a minute. It's not,
Wait,
but
what
you
was
wait.
That episode of Friends had it. Where they had just this, they weren't allowed to make dirty gestures at each other, so they would do this weird thing. We know what it is, but
What
we're
is
the
it?
only ones. It's holding your fist in
Right.
the
So
air.
what do you and Isabella think it is? Can I just tell you that Robert Lyles just raised his fist in the air and said Black Power? And I don't know about you, did not think Black Power when he did that.
Robert raising his fist in any way, shape, or form would not make me think Black Power. No,
What did you think of? Because I can't tell what I thought of.
it's well after Safe Harbor,
I don't get it.
but I understand that it can be reconstructed.
Oh, I feel shame.
Prada Power!
To the people.
I meant to say Prada Power.
Hey, Robert,
Yeah, baby.
what is today?
What today is Thursday.
And what happens today? August 11th in Santa Monica.
Oh, Barney's warehouse sale.
Oh my God.
I'm going to be there every day.
Barney's warehouse sale.
Knocking on the door. Open, open, open.
You would never be at Mervin's.
Get out of my way.
Mervin's is where I am. You're over there at Barney's doing that.
It's a great sale. It's like a discount,
Okay.
70%.
Can I tell you something?
Who would not want to go to that?
Right. All right. And listen.
All real men.
Last year, on Robert's advice, I went to the Barney's. It's at the hangar, and I went to it. It's the 70% off sale. My sister and I went
And
last
they have
year.
no dressing rooms. You just have to dress in
Right.
front of people.
Do you know,
Undress.
Danny? It was the most overpriced, most
No, it's
ridiculous.
not.
They had tank tops, white wife beaters for $900.
Yeah, but if you would have gone the last day, that tank top would have
I
been
did.
like 50 cents.
I did. No, that's not true. It was $900.
A tank top.
A
You have to
tank
find
top.
stuff.
You're lying.
I am not.
$700.
Ask my sister. We couldn't afford a damn
Fun.
thing.
Ugh. You don't know how to shop, but you have to go with me.
Okay, how do you
know
learn
what
to
I do?
shop at a
What?
place that thinks they can sell you a tank top for $900? What's the trick?
I don't know.
Not going. Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy.
Pull up on your yacht. Now we're talking.
The only
Well,
thing
you
that
wear
was,
polyester. I'm allergic to polyester.
oh, nice slamming you.
I don't care.
You know what? The only thing that was reasonably priced is they had these dancing skirts that were hideous, and they're $90.
You don't know how to
And
do
they were
it.
hideous. I know. Okay, by the way, here's what Robert Lyles does, just so y'all know. Robert Lyles will show up at Barney's hangar sale today. He
Yes.
will find stuff he likes, and then he will shove it under the racks and hide it wherever he can find in that warehouse.
I'm a professional shopper. That's what you do.
And he waits till the last day of the sale, and then how do they mark it down if they can't find it?
There's a little trick that I do.
Well,
It's borderline theft, my friend.
I didn't say what.
Right, I got
Right, he
it.
switches tags.
Or either switches tags or he runs up there and goes, I just found these. How much are they? And
Yeah,
then
they
have to
haven't
check
been
it.
marked down yet.
Well, there's a trick, and if you come with me next time, I'll show you how to do it.
All right, so in the meantime, as you're concentrating on what's really important in life, which is the Barney Super Sale,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
we've had a mix-up with the Chippendales.
There has not been a mix-up.
That's
It's
not what
always been a call-in at 8:30
Oh, wait,
a.m.
I'm being handed proof right now. I'm being handed some emails. Let me look at.
Tampered with my email.
He tampered with them. All right. Forward Chippendales in studio interview. Wow, look at this. It says from Robert Lyles in studio interview.
Well, okay, let me explain.
Wait, let me continue.
Black Power!
To Stench regarding in studio interview. Yes, the interview for in the studio of the Chippendales has been confirmed. They will be handing out posters,
At the party.
not calendars. Got it? Thanks. We will see them in the studio. And then it says two things. Confirming our in studio is Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Then it goes on. From the guys at Chippendales. Aledra. Two things. Confirming our call into the studio at 8:30 p.m.
They changed their minds. They want to call in.
No.
And,
What good is
No,
that?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that.
listeners, that's not what that press.
I'm
that's
saying
not
that
what
the
email says. Don't believe them.
I'm saying that the thing that you sent to Stench said
Listeners are trying to set me up.
that
That's
there's
not
an
what it
in-studio
said on the-
interview, and then the thing that
Not
the guy wrote to you saying that they'll be calling at 8:30 p.m.
Listeners don't believe that crap. That's not what it says.
Oh, your voice cracked like you were guilty.
I'm not guilty. You know what? Okay, here it is.
All right.
They changed. It was supposed to be an in-studio interview, but they changed their minds
When?
a couple of days ago.
Could I have known this so I wouldn't say over and over the Chippendales will be here at 8 a.m. this morning?
I'm sorry, but it's still going to be. a
But
great
the Barney
interview.
sale is on, and so that's much more important to inform me about that.
You got that right, sister. You are some crazy Caucasian. I gotta go. The store's getting ready to open.
Wow. Robert pulled that off.
Go, Robert!
Oh my God! So what do we do with Chippendales? Okay, here's what I say we do. I say we don't even take the call. We can just have like Frodo in the other room calling us.
We do one of three things.
Okay.
One, we do our funny thing where Stench calls in to be one of them, and that's always funny because he's always funny.
Right.
Two, you just take the
Once
call.
he wasn't funny, I remember.
Yesterday.
Most of the day yesterday.
That last
But
call.
no, he's never funny if he doesn't write stuff
Stuck
down.
with me all damn day.
If he doesn't write it down, it's not funny. He's not one of those quick on their feet guys.
I don't know. He's made me laugh. When
But
he
how
scared his
about-
kid so bad he pooped his pants.
How about we make the guy strip, and it's even stupider than stripping on the radio?
He strips on
The phone.
I like that. Okay.
That should be humiliating.
I have a couple of angles we can take with
Okay.
this since it's all changed and I didn't know about it, but I know about the Barney sale. First of all, I think we strip on the phone is awesome. We
Okay.
have the
Have the stripper music.
we have the music available. Number two is I think we do Ask a Chippendale,
Nice.
where men and women actually get to ask them, do you think you're an egomaniac, or is this rewarding, or do you have a 401k plan? Is this what you're going to do the rest of your life? Whatever you want to ask.
Or ask a Chunkendale. I'm right here,
All right,
baby.
all right. I
I'll
like
bet
it.
that's written down somewhere, Chunkendale.
I like it. We will do both. We will do Ask a Chunkendale and Ask a Chippendale.
Right.
So at 8 a.m., if you've ever wanted to ask, like I want to ask them questions.
Right.
Does your wife think, if any of them are married, is it sickening to her to get you home at night knowing that you've had all these girls kiss all over you and all that stuff? And
Or does it make you hot and crazy?
right. And do you fantasize about the other girls wanting you? It must be egomania.
Right.
Do your wives go to your shows?
I have an answer from the Chunkendale side right now.
Is it hard to pay for everything in one?
Let's call Builder Bob and ask a Cannondale.
Oh,
why's that mean? I thought it was funny.
out of the blue.
I was just thinking of things with Dale. Wow, you're easily injured today. My kid's flipping you off right now.
You are mean and unkind and hurtful.
You didn't even like
There was no I loved
Oh,
him.
shut up.
I did love him.
You did not.
I did
you
too.
You never did.
I totally
you
loved him.
totally didn't.
I did too.
I don't care what you say. I don't care that you think that you are entitled to your emotions and I can't possibly have an opinion. You did not. You never did.
I'm telling you
did
that
not.
I did love Builder Bob.
He was more passing time guy than passing time guy.
I am telling you, I loved
You
Builder
never loved him.
Bob.
You
yes,
did not.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did too.
You remember how you said, I've been working with you a long time? I've been working with you a long time, sister. I know what you're like in love, and I know what you're like hanging out with a cute guy.
I loved Builder
You never
Bob.
loved. You were never in love with Builder Bob.
Yes, I was.
Will everybody be honest?
I think Jamie loved Builder Bob, but hated his off ramp.